Hi everyone, working away on some nymphs for the grayling. I'm tying some, well, last time I was out I was catching on this one, did quite well with this. This pattern I'm going to be tying will basically caught most of my fish, put it that way. The pink, I mean, if you're going to be fishing a certain colour, you're going to be catching with it, but the pink metallic bead seems to do extremely well. And both for brown trout and grayling. I mean, I caught throughout the season, and throughout the season I would quite hard put a fly on, especially tied with CDC or a mix of CDC fibre. Now I'm going to show you this fly bead I'm using, this metallic bead. It's light pink, as you can see. It's a fully mill slotted bead, suits obviously the jig style hook. This one is no, it's not that one. Where are we? Number 14. This one here. This is a straight point. As you can see, it emphasises it's basically straight point. Now there is a curved point. So if you like the curved point, this one here. This is the one here. It's a size 16. Obviously a size 14. Slightly heavier on the wire. That's why I'm using it as well. It's very good for, like, if you're bouncing off the bottom, it does take a bit of abuse. It's just a wee bit stronger, a wee bit heavier as well, tiny bit. But anyway, there's lots of hooks out there, and if you don't have a jig hook, just use a straight hook or even a curved hook. Any of the two, you'll still catch. It's just with the bead, what it does, it flips the fly or the hook upside down in the jig style. So when you're bouncing the fly off the bottom, it just makes... You still get hooked up, but you don't hook up as just as much, meaning in the back of your stone. And you do lose a lot of these, that's why I'm tying more. Now, as I say, I'm tying a size 14. The metallic, or the bead, sorry, I'm using is a 2.8. You could use slightly bigger, you could basically use smaller, it's up to yourself. But it's a nice balance for this size. And I do tie them on smaller size as well. Now I'm going to be tying a slight pink version. This is the 80 pink thread. This one's from Uni. So what I'm going to do, quickly run down the thread along the shank, just till it gets to the point when it starts to get around the bend. We tie in some Coq de Leon fibres. It's a medium Pardo. This is a whiting. It's from a saddle I have. It's just bringing 90 degrees from the stem. Basically with the 90 degrees from the stem, they should line up. Once I do that, you tear them away. You're looking for a tail length. I like a reasonable length, around about the shank of the hook length. Catch that on the top. I usually come underneath with a turn just to flare the fibres. This helps to flare them out, and you can see there, just opens them out. Same thing you would do as you were tying a dry fly. That's what I do. Now I'm going to rib this with a red wire. This is a UTC wire in red. This is basically classed as a small. So I'm going to catch this on, and we're going to run it up, tidy things. You can see it's all the way up to the bead because I'm building up the fly using materials. Going back down. Now the body, I'm going to use a blend. Now, so I had white CDC feathers which I dyed pink. Now what I'm going to actually do is mix it into some Hare's mask. This is Hare's mask which I've trimmed away and then blended using a small coffee grinder I've got. So I take out some of the dubbing. And now I prefer to trim away the CDC from the feather. So if I trim away, now usually, like you see what I'm doing, trim away and let it fall on my desk. Do both sides. Now the main reason for doing that is I don't want, when you tear off the fibre here, you get the wee curly ends coming off the stem, which I don't want in the dressing. So you've got your dubbing, you've got both your Hare's mask in this case, and some of the pink CDC, and then we just, you can mix it between your fingers, or if you're doing a bigger batch, you can actually, which you really should do, but just to show you I'll get a good 3 or 4 nymphs out of this. If you're doing a big batch, then you just sit and cut away a few feathers and blend it together using I use it as a Krups coffee grinder I actually use. Okay, now I'm going to come up a bit, maybe a mil or so. So I've got a wee pink tag at the back. I'll dub this on. And if you hear a noise in the background, my neighbour's just along the road's getting a new drive. So anyway, it's cutting the monoblock up. Anyway, what we're going to do is just work my way up. A nice taper in the body, a nice shape. Now I'm short of the bead here, and then I'm going to bring the rib through on this nice bright red. And then we catch that in. Nice and tight, just make sure it's secure. And then we can twist, just roll it around in a circle and that'll break away the wire. Anything going forward, I'm just going to draw it back, make a nice base down for my dubbing at the front. Let's give a wee quick look. Now I'm going to use my Velcro here just to lightly bring out the fine soft fibre. Now when you're tying these flies, all you have to do is change the colour of the thread and change the colour of the CDC. Because everything else much the same. Now I'm using up some of the small CDC. These are small, this is from a duck. These are the tiny feathers that you get. They're useful feathers, but they're very good for hackles. So I'm going to catch it with the tip to draw back what you want. And make sure you catch in the stem. I usually come down a wee bit, fold it back. Slip your fingers back and you'll see the tip there. Trim it away. Now the dubbing in the front, you could basically put anything. I'm using this one here. This is a Euro Nymph dub. Dark Hare's ear and UV. It's got the UV in it, which I do like in my flies. You just lightly pull out some of the dubbing. Now there's only a couple of mil there or so of a thorax. It's just something to darken that area, the thorax area, which you like to do. In nature, most nymphs are darker at the front, or at the thorax area. Now I've got my feather here now, but just find the tip. And then we just wind through that dubbing itself. When you get to the bead, catch it on with your thread. I usually just come around with 2 or 3 turns. You may catch 1 or 2 fibres. The stem is still in there, so I'm just going to draw it back. I'm going to catch it first again, sorry. Fold it back. I'm going to show you the stem there, it's there. So I'm just going to take it out. Because it's folded back, it's never going to pull out, it's got to break off. When you're happy with that, now I want some pink thread in there, so same when you're using another colour, like fire orange is very good. And what I'm going to do here, make it easier to varnish with all the dubbing round about it, is just to put some varnish, about 1 inch or so down from the eye. Just brush it on, and then take your fingers, hold back the dubbing, wet finish, tighten up, there we are, and the job's done. Now don't be shy with the fibre length of these. It looks a lot of fibre, it probably is, but you can mess around with this, you can trim it back, I usually like to try it first, but if you feel like it's too long, you can just nick out the longer fibres, thin it down a wee bit to suit yourself. See what that looks like. Now CDC everybody thinks of, obviously, first it's used in dry flies. But when you've got lots of these small feathers, I mean, I've got lots of these wee feathers, and not much on them, but never throw them away, use them up. Whether dyed or whether natural, I use them all. And they do add to a nymph, a lot of movement. When that's in the water, it's doing all this, and the fish just find them attractive. Even this feather here, I could have used the pink just to finish it off, where I've used the CDC on the stem of that feather. I could easily use the tip of that for a hackle, and I will keep that for something. So anyway, there you go. That's one of the flies, one of the dressings I'm going to be doing. As I say, all we have to do is change the colour of the CDC. You could multitude of colours you could add. I've got lots of colours. I don't know if you can see that. Zoom out a wee bit. I mean, I buy the white and then I just dye them. I get crazy, go crazy as they say. Got browns. I've got other different sort of tans. I've got and natural. Natural's probably the most useful. The grey. And just tie a batch up. Change the bead colour again as well. If you change the bead colour, just give you something different. Obviously gold, silver. I mean, any of the colours would suit this one. But you get that wee hue off it with the pink fibre and the red wire. Simple pattern, easy to tie and catch fish. That's the main thing. So again, thanks for watching. Until next time.